Hey guys, this is Derek with Automatic Door and Hardware. Today we are going to be answering the question, what is going on with my Horton door? And this is going to be for if your Horton door is not opening or if it's not, if it's just sort of not working as it's supposed to. Most of the time it will either be from maybe the door will be just stuck closed. You won't get any activation lights. You don't have anything like that. Now, we're going to be just looking strictly at the power supply today. And this video will be good for the 2000 linear drive, the 2000B, the belt drive unit, the 2001, and then the 2003 sliders. Okay, so again, we're looking at the power supply here. So a lot of times what you're going to do, if you see your door is dead, you're going to open up the header cover and we're going to look first at the control. First, we want to make sure that the control has the 2-digit display and that the lights are on, that you have some sort of lights on the actual control board. Now, again, I don't have the control here. What I have is the power supply. But if you have no lights on the control, then that's the first place we're going to look. We're going to look at the power supply. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a multimeter, and you're going to see that this harness right here coming from the power supply will plug into your control board. So we're probably the best spot to check it is going to be on the control board end. So unplug it from your control board. And from my view here, and I'll orient with you guys here. This is going to be 1 and this is going to be pin 5. So we're going to check 1 and 2 for voltage. And we're going to be in DC voltage, and you should have about 120 to 130 DC. If you have a little bit more, that is okay. Okay, this harness looks bad, but okay, see? So right here we have 130 volts DC, which is good. So that is our high voltage circuit, right? So that one controls the motor. So if your control was actually lighting up but not operating, sometimes you will not have 130 volts here. Now, for your control actually not lighting up with no lights, you're going to check the next 2 pins. So 3 and 4, and you should have lower voltage here. About 27 to 33 volts is what Horton calls, but a lot of times I see it at about 35 like this. So that means our low, if that checks out, then your control is getting power, but it must be fried because it's not actually reading any display. There must have cooked somewhere. So if you have no voltage here, and we're talking about the control still, what we're going to do then is check your fuses. So you have an F1, an F2, and an F3 fuse. And basically all you're going to do is continuity check them. You're going to pop them out and check to make sure that the fuse is still good. Now, a lot of times you can visually inspect and see the wire in there and see that it's good, but it's always best to double check, pop them out, because sometimes I've seen them where they look like the wire's still good in there, but they're actually blown. Okay, so if you have no voltage coming out of your motor wires, you are going to be looking at the F2 fuse. This is going to be your high voltage fuse. And then you are going to, if you have no voltage coming out of the red and black, then you're going to be looking at your F3 fuse. And it's likely that those would be blown. Now, if you have no voltage out of either of these, and you do have 120 coming in across your white and black, then you're going to do your F1 fuse, because that means that the incoming power must have spiked or something, and it could have popped that fuse. After double checking on that, if your door is still not running, you would have to probably take a look at binding issues, take a look at your other accessories that you have on the board, and then just try to troubleshoot from there. But this way you can at least eliminate the power supply and know that the power supply is good and it's something else down the line. Now, I'm going to backtrack because we talked about the control not having lights and checking that and seeing what that looked like. So if the fuse is checked out, you still don't have controls on the lights on the control, then that control is no good and needs to be replaced. Now, on the opposite side of things, if we're talking about the motor, if your motor is not getting any voltage, you see the control, you see you're getting activation, the light lights up on the control showing that the door has been activated, but the motor, you're not getting anything out of it, that is when you would then check that F2 fuse, make sure that you do have that higher voltage, that 100 to 130 volt DC coming out on pins 1 and 2. If that checks out, then your next step would be to check the actual motor and make sure that the motor is not shorted, and make sure that it's not grounded, it's not shorted, and then also verify that the control is actually outputting voltage to that motor when it's getting activation. So those are a couple things to check out, guys. Yeah, let me know if this helps. Thank you.